Hey everybody, it's me, Sven Sharpen here, bringing you day number 179 of Let's Talk About Autism. Before we get started, I would love you to hit the like and subscribe buttons down below the video. It would help me out tremendously. So, in today's video, I'll be talking about how autistic kids are growing up without childhoods. So, what I mean by that is childhood should be an experience, the growing up experience, one where you have good friends that you've had for years. You hang out with them every couple of weeks. You hang out with them for holidays and birthdays, and you play games with them. You play outside with them. You see their other families. You just interact with them a lot. And, even when you're by yourself, you still play a lot. You still do things where you learn. You learn a lot of stuff. And the experiences you have with those friends, you learn a lot too. And in your teenage years, those experiences will teach you a lot. And you'll also learn a lot of social skills and communication through consistent friendship and socialization, which, because we autistics grew up in SPED, many of us, myself included, that's just completely absent from our lives. Most of us have never had close friends. We've never had those kinds of experiences of going to other friends' houses and playing with them outside or online or getting together with them on holidays. I mean, we might have that with family, but we never see this with friendships. And it's heartbreaking, especially to me as someone who's been in a situation like this. Of the times, for birthdays, for example, I've invited friends to birthdays a good amount of times, but the amount of times I've been invited to their stuff in 21 years, maybe a total of just 3 times, which for the average person who doesn't struggle with this would probably be 3 times would be like maybe in 2 months. You're often going out with friends if you did not grow up in SPED. So all the reasons I talked about, like the SPED, who they are, the agenda they have, what their goals are, and all the horrible things they're doing in the name of trying to help us, which is just so incorrect. I've talked about that throughout the whole series, especially these past couple videos. Do watch those if you don't know exactly what I'm talking about. But we're growing up without childhoods because we're cut off from a lot of that initial socialization and the communication. Autism itself will play its own role in this, but usually you can manage this with the right treatment. If you teach social skills well, if you have good enough exposure to it, you're most likely going to be fine. Even if you are autistic, you'll still have those relationships because you learned them. You got to develop those skills anyway through regular social communication and social skill learning. So because we grew up in SPED, we don't have those experiences. They teach emotional stuff, yeah, but it's obviously incorrect. They don't teach anything well. They don't teach social skills, and they also don't teach regular school subjects. So it's having a really negative effect on us through our childhoods and our adulthoods. So because you lack that experience, you end up being less competitive in life, and you end up lonely and often unemployed as a result, and you just wind up the worst situations. It can lead to some really bad things. Transgenderism is often a result of not growing up with those experiences that I talked about. So, and you're also just removing the bridge to adulthood. So when you don't allow someone to socialize till they're 18, they end up not learning those things until they're 18. So you are socially still a kid, even if you're an adult, because you didn't get to socialize as a kid. And by then, it's really hard to make friends because they got to develop while you didn't. And you're in a world of strangers. It's hard for you to meet other autistic people that have been through the same, especially now with the whole trans stuff. So it's a really tragic situation. And what I'm going to say is no child ever deserves this. No child deserves to grow up without close friends, without those experiences, and without a childhood. Every child deserves a childhood, and it leads to good adulthood too. Because again, you're more likely to be employed, and you're also more likely to be married with kids of your own. And you'll be more likely to succeed because you had those friendships when you were a kid and you learned a lot of stuff. But without that, again, you're going to struggle with a lot of these things. That doesn't mean you won't succeed, but you're going to struggle a lot socially. So again, no child deserves to end up like this. No child deserves to end up like I did. No child deserves to grow up without a childhood. And so what we're going to do is make sure that no child ever grows up without a childhood. And we're going to make sure that whatever's happening to us is made illegal and is thrown away so that every child, regardless of what they're diagnosed with, can actually have the close friends, the experiences, and the learning experience that comes with the socialization and with being allowed to develop naturally. I mean, there are other parts to childhood that don't involve socialization, like playtime, but you lose out on that too. So, like this, I'm here to fix all of this as someone who went through this myself. We're going to change it. We're going to change it for good, and we got to change it sooner rather than later. How many more kids are going to end up like me and many of these other kids before we can stop this? That's the big question. So, yeah, we're going to put an end to this. Every child deserves a childhood. That was day 179. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you on day 180, and goodbye.